So, Sabrina and I made a surprise trip down to Florida. We're currently towards the end of our trip, and I'm just now getting ready to go back in and edit all the videos, and I realized I never did an intro for the first video, but I should probably do an intro for this entire trip. Last minute, we kind of just decided we wanted to take a trip down to Florida, stop off in Tampa, and go down to Naples area, and then over to the East Coast to where I'm from, so I could show Sabrina kind of around where I'm from. But in this video, we are actually going to be doing a tour of the Profile Racing factory, which was pretty spectacular for me. I've been getting hooked up from Profile for a decade now, which is pretty crazy to say, and I'd actually never been there to take the tour. So if you've seen it, you've probably seen it on Profile's Instagram or on their YouTube, but I wanted to make one myself for my own memories. So check it out. We made it. Profile Racing. Let's head inside. So we just made it out to Profile Racing, and this is going to be our tour guide for today, the Matt Coplon.
I'll try to do my best.
Awesome, man. It's great to finally make it out to Profile. It's crazy. I was thinking in the car, I was like, the first set of hubs that you hooked me up with was a set of teal left-hand drive elites, and that was like 10 years ago.
Must have been.
Crazy thing, it's been 10 years and I've never been able to make it over here to check out the factory, but yeah,
to show you all around.
Cool.
Let's do it. We'll go the we're gonna do a long loop around really quick.
All right.
There's a lot of stock here, so bear with me as I kind of point things out as we walk by.
All right.
That's of interest. So but we'll start at the back here at the EDM and the laser etching machines, because they're always a really interesting
Oh yeah.
concept of what we do. This is just a side note walking by it. This machine here is from this is a metal bending machine. This has nothing to do with BMX, but it's an old press brake essentially. But this thing is from the Second World War.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of wild that it's here and that Jim once in a while we use this thing.
Really?
Yeah, pretty wild.
What do you? So it's a metal.
Yeah, so it bends.
machine?
It like bends sheet metal essentially.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
But Jim has a lot of these old machines, and the reason I like mentioning this stuff is we'll play into the car frame up here in a second, because a lot of these ideas that are older American like manufacturing concepts were basically turned into BMX components essentially.
Wow. Okay.
But this is actually really interesting, not to jump around. We're getting ready to talk about the EDM machine, but the EDM machine actually burns pawls out of steel, which are the pawls in a cassette hub.
Oh yeah.
Mini
no
deletes the Z coasters,
way.
so that is
Are
burnt.
you kidding
Yeah.
me, dude? Oh my god.
And it's an electrical current that cuts those out. So basically, what we do is that we weld a bunch of sheet metal together. So when the wire is burning through the EDM machine, it'll burn like tin, and then you physically have to punch them out with a punch.
Oh my gosh, that's I was always wondering how those were made. That's crazy.
And the crazy thing about the paws is that per material, the paw is the most expensive part that Profile makes, because they're really expensive to make. Yeah. So after they get punched out, they get ground down. You have to hand grind them, and then they go to a finishing process where they get a coat put on them, essentially.
Wow.
So yeah, pretty wild.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah. This here is that EDM machine. It's currently not running, but it is on essentially. But what it will have is like those pieces of metal will be in this water essentially, and there'll be a wire coming down that's basically going into the metal, and it's burning through that metal. And a sheet like we just showed is probably going to take 4 days to go through. Pretty wild. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it takes a very, very long time. So if the computer screen was up and it was running, you'd see a little asterisk where the wire was actually cutting the metal, and it's barely moving. Pretty wild.
Dang, that's crazy.
So this machine makes our paws, it makes our Z-Coaster slat cam rings, it makes the Z-Coaster ratchet rings, and that's it. It makes like 5 parts. That's all.
Jeez. Oh my gosh, look at that. What? Oh, that is so crazy.
Dude, that's sick.
So basically, the laser etching machine was bought, I don't know, 7-8 years ago now. But the anodizers would do all the post-production laser etching for us before we got this. And we got this, and it's basically cut our time in half and been able to get the last post-production part done immediately instead of having to wait for someone else to do it.
Oh, I got you.
Pretty quick.
Thank you.
So this is an old mill. Actually, you can see the lizard skeleton up there. Pretty crazy. This mill is really, really old. So Jim was using this. So Profile Racing, which a lot of people don't realize, is the name of the company because Profile Racing was a race car parts company. That's why it has nothing to do with BMX. It's Profile Racing because of race cars. And then we got into the BMX industry 10 years after the company was founded. But this mill here milled the original tubing for Jim's oval track cars, which is that right up there. So all of that tubing is milled on. That tubing up there was what turned into crank arms.
Oh,
So that tubing was
really?
modified. I'm sorry?
The racing car. That was the inner part of the racing car.
Exactly, yeah. So the tubing was cut short, it was shortened, and the same concept for making that frame was used to make a 48 spline 19 mil crank.
Wow.
So that machine was one of the main machines in that process, which evolved into the first 19 mil 48 spline three-piece crank.
And the who was it again? You guys made cranks for also for
Made cranks for a lot of companies.
yeah.
Hutch, GT.
That was it. Yeah.
Who else? Hutch, GT, Powerlight, Fusion, which was a subsidiary of Haro.
Yep.
So
Wow.
there were a couple others back in the day as well.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Wow, look at that lizard skeleton. That thing's crazy.
So this is Jim's little welding area. So Jim, the owner and founder of Profile, this is where he taps the crank.
Okay.
It's working. Doesn't stop working. It's crazy. So this is where he tack welds the cranks, and then they go to our other welder who actually finished the welds on those.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay.
Oh yeah, here's a crank arm right here.
Ooh.
and then we'll go in the machine shop. So this is where we spend a ton of time. You'll get your parts in a second, Brian. This is where we built your hubs this morning. So all the parts are here. We assemble every single hub to order. So there is nothing here that's stock. We actually have to build every single order that goes out of here. So those are all the different variations of cones. We got cogs down here. We've got different axles and bearings up here. These are all the drivers here for the minis.
Wow.
The Elite drivers are over there, and then all the Z Coaster parts are here because it's a whole separate hub with a separate mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want to mix the parts up because
Right.
obviously you'll have issues with that.
Right.
So over here, more cogs, all of our hub guards. We do all of our C4 Delrin hub guards here, as well as our aluminum. Well, we do it all here, but I'm saying plastic as well. We do as well. And also, do you need hub guards for your order or no?
No, actually
Yeah, okay.
I have
Okay,
some at
just
home.
making sure. More bolts, more jam nuts for 14 mil. These are all the front hub or 3/8 bolts there. Axles here, 14 mil, 3/8
Crazy.
aluminum, 3/8 steel.
They're oiled.
These are all
yes.
the Elite hub shells are in this area here. These are the BMX Elite hubs. All of our anodizing is done, not all of it. 3 of our main anodizers are here locally, and then we have 1 out of state, depending on what material we use, because we use 3 different types of aluminum material. We use 60, 61, 20, 24, and 70, 75, and they all have to be anodized differently, so they all go to different
Oh, wow.
anodizers depending on what the material is. So these are the mini hubs. There's not many in stock right now because we've been super busy, so
That's good. Busy's
those are
good.
the mini hubs.
Ooh yeah. Look, here's the Galaxy Rust.
Yeah.
Galaxy Rust mountain bike. Dang, those are sick. Man, that's a sick color.
Let's
Pretty
we'll go through the
insane.
raw materials really quick, and then I'll take you into the machine shop.
All right.
So these are just finished products. So this is after it's laser etched and packaged and everything. We just pull it off the shelves.
Okay, yeah.
Just to get it rolling. So this is the raw material row. So when product goes to finishing, we basically outsource to probably 35 different finishers. I would say 30 of them are in the state of Florida, 5 are out of the state. We go to a chromer that's a couple states up. We go to an anodizer, like I said, that's up in the Northeast, and then everything else is done here locally. So the good news for us is that when we have to get something either nickel plated, black oxided, our powder coaters here, let's see, what else do we do? Our heat treaters right up the road, so we can kind of control that stuff locally. So as material comes out of the machine shop, which we'll go into in a second, like all of our hub shells are here, so they're basically ready to go for pulling, for anodizing, or for powder coat. These are all the cones and the cups. Would you believe that American cups are still probably the most popular bottom bracket that we do?
What?
Believe it or not. We sell more American bottom brackets than any bottom bracket we do.
What?
Pretty wild. Yeah.
That is insane.
And I think, don't quote me on this, I don't think there's a lot of companies doing American cups. I mean, they've caught up now after COVID, but for a while, I don't think there were many people other than us doing American cups.
Yeah.
Push stems and caps are here. Ooh. Got more shells here. And then the only thing that we do outside of our own parts is build custom wheels with Sun, which run.
Yeah, I ride the
a couple
Sun rims.
Sun rims as well today. These are Sun stock for us as well.
Oh yeah. Are these the what are those?
Those are the new aluminum cranks that are coming out on the race and the mountain bike end.
Oh, should I
Those
not
are-
add
no,
this
it's okay.
in? No, that's
Not at all.
cool.
Yeah, 2 weeks those will be out.
What?
So,
Dude, what? Those are crazy.
there's more sprockets here that are getting ready to get pulled.
What are? Oh, that's a little 25 tooth. Wow. What? 22? Oh, flatline, yeah.
Flat, yeah.
Yeah. Dang, sick.
All right, let's go in the machine shop. Y'all okay with wearing glasses?
Yeah. Some safety glasses. Safe.
I'm going to take y'all outside really quick because I want to tell you a little bit about the history of manufacturing here.
All right.
So John is, when we send stuff out for polishing locally, but when we can't get it back in time, John kind of steps in and does the polishing for us.
Oh yeah.
The thing with polishing too that one is that it's custom done. So even though we never have polish on the shelf, it's always something we actually have to physically come out and do. John does 99% of it actually. He's gotten really good at it, but it's really, really time consuming and really difficult to do it well. And it's awesome because John's gotten really good at it. But also with our anodizing, all of our hubs are polished before they're anodized, so that's why they have that kind of lusterful look. Yeah. Which also, adds to the cost too. But I'm thankful that John can do it because it is hard. I cannot do it half as good as he can. So, what I brought you out here is to show you the material. So this is the material that we get in. It's obviously raw material. This is aluminum. This will be 2024. I'm actually not sure exactly what this is for, but the interesting thing about the material is that Profile moved here from New Jersey in the late 70s, and we're near the port of Tampa. So the awesome thing for us is that we don't have to stock a bunch of material because the port's just right up the road. Right. So we just get material in as we need it. So the good thing for us is that we just get the little bit of material that we need, and it's kind of a quick turnover there. We don't have to stock a bunch of material. Right, yeah. That is all recycled material. One of the things I like too is that with after our parts are machined, the aluminum, the steel, it's all recycled, and so is the coolant. So the coolant that goes into the machines to cool off the tooling is all recycled as well. So, from my perspective, I really like the fact that nothing kind of goes to waste here. It's put into something, something else.
Yeah,
so,
that's sick.
So yeah, that'll be going out for recycling soon. For all the props I gave you, you deserve it.
I didn't hear it all, but I appreciate it. Sorry about the cigarette though. I didn't mean to get that. You're right.
So material comes in, goes into the saw. It gets cut into the size pieces we need to feed into the machines, which we'll get to in a second because I'll show you the material before it turns into a hub. But all of the parts down here are finished components of cranks. I love this little area because it kind of shows how many different parts go into a steel crank. So there's pedal bosses, there's spider bosses, there's spindle bosses on here for both 19 and 22 mil. And that covers our 19 mil cranks, that covers our elite cranks, and that covers our column cranks. So it's just a lot of bosses that we have to manufacture to hit a bunch of cranks back. So,
Yeah.
these are 160s that were just finished. So this is our Eurotech. So Dave, our head machinist, is around here somewhere. This Eurotech here only makes hub shells. This is one of my favorite machines. It makes about 78 hub shells a day. It's doing elite fronts right now, standard elite 36 fronts. Takes about 7.5 minutes to make one shell.
Really?
That's
it.
Yeah, see it in there. Finishing up on that side. It's getting the spoke.
Oh. You can kind of see, but... Dude, that's crazy.
And then this machine, this Eurotech is doing thread and cups.
Okay,
Yeah, right now. So although it's a small part, this is always pretty interesting. This is another Eurotech that Dave runs. Those are 3/8 button bolts, which you got on your hub.
Yeah.
So those are coming out of the machine right now. Chips that'll be going to recycling. Those are 6061. So that comes from came from our sprockets.
Wow.
So our steel cranks that are swedged. These are going to get milled out for to get the pedal and the spindle bosses welded in. This will be our 19 mil cranks. These are saber sprockets in 28 that are just done. So they're on the back side of this machine getting run right now.
Wow.
Okay. So the new aluminum crank spindle and chain joint. So those are going to be out officially in about 2 weeks.
All right.
More aluminum crank production going on here now.
Dude, those are beefy. Oh my gosh,
Look at the size on those.
dude, those are beefy.
So when I was talking about the bar stock earlier getting cut, and the bar stock that you saw outside, this is it cut. So this bar will get fed into the bar feeder here, and each of those bars will make exactly 13 hub shells.
Whoa.
The end of the bar end, or the bar stock, will be, a little piece that comes off the end, and we actually turn all those into the trophies for the contest that we do.
For the contest.
So
yeah.
we kind of upcycle those into another cool promo thing that we can essentially.
Those are my favorite trophies too, man. I got a few of those.
We just did those two this weekend for the fall brawl, and I was really, really honored and stoked to get those out. So.
Oh yeah.
Now over here, Dave is doing another small part that you'd think, it's kind of inconsequential, but it is. These are inserts for spline drive sprockets.
Oh,
So those will all turn into inserts.
Okay.
And then the last thing that's getting done today is, Dave, are these steel or tie? Those are tie. Those are titanium 6-inch, 5 5/8. Okay, so it's a mix of 5 5/8 and 6-inch 19 mil tie spindles. So those are coming out right now. And then you all saw the laser etching earlier. So after these are done, they get threaded. Right, Dave? They get threaded on the other machine, or are they done? Threaded, and then they go to laser etcher, and then they're done, and then they're ready to go. So, and that is what we have going on in the machine shop. Obviously, it changes daily. Sometimes it changes hourly, depending on what's going on. But that is what we have going on today on December 7th, 2023.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. Young me is screaming right now. Dude, this is so crazy. I remember in high school, I would literally draw the Profile Racing logo in my notebook. Little did I know I was manifesting something for myself for later on, but that was awesome, man. What an absolute dream come true. And the day is not even over yet. Later, at about 4:30, we're gonna ride Alex Lepac's ramp. It's about, 5 miles away from here. Backyard ramp session with Matt. It's gonna be a good time.